So hello there everyone and welcome back to another episode of F1 2018 Career Mode Episode 1. And I say welcome back because of course I did an episode 0 about 6 months ago and announced that I'd be driving the Alfa Romeo Sauber, but just in case you haven't already bought the game because you're waiting for a cheaper version or you haven't made your mind up if you're going to get it or not, or second hand or whatever, on screen now you can see what each of the teams actually want from you. And they've all got these little team expectations, which they've got like sort of. I don't want to say team slogans, but they're more like team objectives, but in a slogany way. Score regular points is all. Well, we're going to see if we can actually do that. See if we can get Leclerc into the points, because if you were around here last year, you all know that Carlos Sainz scored very few points in my career team. Anyway, it's time to meet with the agent and the media.
Thanks for coming by. I'm sure you're very anxious to get out on track. It's taken a lot of effort to get to F1. Congratulations. But the real work starts now. This is
Claire, motorsports journalist. Nice to meet you. You'll be seeing quite a lot of me throughout the season. So, you had a pretty impressive junior career. How are you feeling about your move into F1? Do you think you have what it takes?
Let's save the questions for a proper interview, shall we? I'm sure you'll have a lot more to talk about once there's been some action on track. I think we could fit you in after FP1 if you're free.
That works for me. I'll grab you the second you finish on the track.
Remember, the relationship you have with the team can be affected by what you say to the media. So be careful. Anyway, it's time to catch up with Carl. He's waiting for you in the data center. Good luck out there today.
Welcome to the data center. Here, we've got access to all kinds of information, including car telemetry, weather, lap times, tire wear, the list goes on. Plus, we've got a direct link back to the factory, so we're in constant communication with the team there. We need you to regularly feedback about areas of the car that are lacking and help us direct our resources in the most productive way. More effort here equals a quicker car, so it's well worth the effort. Good luck this season. Oh, and make us all look good, okay?
Welcome to your new team. Sauber is the kind of team that other privateers aspire to be. No matter the challenges they face, they rise to the occasion and make it out the other side. They need someone who can be consistent, resilient, and determined. And there's no doubt in my mind that you can give them those qualities.
So yes, there we go. We met Carl, our teammate sitting opposite. He's like thinking. I think she's playing out to him as well, and I think she wants. I think he wants her to be quiet. But anyway, 18th in qualifying the race is second driver, and our team goal is easy. I believe our goal update. Yes, here we go. It's to finish 16th or higher in 2 races. So that's possible if we get Toro Rosso. I mean, we've got 2 races here, and Bahrain is the next race. That's already been recorded. That will be out tomorrow at some point. But there's the weather forecast. Cloudy with cloudy qualifying, and let's hope it doesn't rain. We know what Codemasters have been out in the
details
back.
about your current contract. On one side are the objectives and bonuses that we've negotiated with the team. On the other is information regarding how you're perceived throughout the paddock, your reputation with the current team, and your overall value to them, which is a combination of these elements.
Okay, well, we've already seen the screen before anyway.
Winning rivalries is a great way to earn respect from your team and around the paddock, which will help make it easier to negotiate favourable contracts. Your first rival is always your teammate, but you can choose who to declare as your second. The harder the rival from the eligible selection, the more respect you stand to gain or lose depending on the result.
We don't actually get to choose our rival until the end of the next episode. But one thing I do like is they got the sort of driver details, which ultimately shows you, your hammer on the side shows you your details, but also shows you the stats. how many teams you've joined and such. So that's quite something to intriguing to see, just to check up on seeing how you're doing, and obviously compare against other people. R&D, obviously we got the general wear, the wear upgrade, which is the same helmet, and then we got these walls of fog for everything else. And really we can see there's 2 major upgrades to happen on the Arrow first to catch up to everybody else, and then there's a minor one for a Sashi, and then there'll be a major one. Now the majors take 4 weeks and the minors take 2 weeks, so any manias that we fit won't be ready until Azerbaijan. Another thing is we've got a practice gearbox for this year as well, as opposed to doing it on one, but we still got to do on we still got to do our race gearbox on 6 races. But let's go to practice.
We're about to join the action in what is sure to be an interesting practice session here in Melbourne. It's not long until we get the session underway, and we'll have some... A lot of focus is naturally on the drivers, but it's really important for the mechanics to get everything right as well, as one little mistake could cost the team and one of their drivers the race result.
These guys are so meticulous, and they train and perfect everything that they do. Without question, they feel the pressure in the same way as the drivers, and they share the responsibility to ensure that the car makes it to the end of the race.
So here we are in practice for the Australian Grand Prix. The only time practice will make a appearance to go away, and I don't need
Jeff
to know.
here. I'm looking forward to working with you as your race engineer. Hope you've had a good night's sleep, because we've got a lot of work to do today to prep for the season ahead. We're ready to fire up the car, so why not head out and get a few laps under your belt?
Thank you, Jeff, and welcome back. I mean, it's been 2 years since you made an episode appearance on the career mode, because of course, due to technical reasons, Jeff didn't. Every time Jeff spoke in F1 2017, he didn't record for some reason.
Get ready to open it. Distance is on your MFD.
And I missed that one. I actually missed that one, and I didn't actually realise I missed that one. That gate. But anyway, I went for a second run, which was much finer. I start to feel, if you watched the early video earlier, I was all over the place with the car. I've got my F1 2017 setups back in now. I'm starting to feel more comfortable with the car. So I started off the AI difficulty at 76 because of my because of what I've seen in that first episode, but I've now moved up to 84 for the second episode. So this first episode will be a little bit easier, but one thing I should show you is ERS management. Now I set it to auto because just faffing about with it, it's just too much. You have to like change it, and then you've got to change the bridge mix as well. Yes, obviously if you're doing this ERS management, the auto version, this is the ERS management practice program. It's the only new one for this year. All the others I've covered previously in previous episodes. So now get more comfortable with the car. I know what the car wants from me, and I can then get more comfortable with it and then start making the thing. But just making the thing, just if you've been watching the bottom left hand arrow, just watch how many times I have to change throughout this lap, because I felt out of breath, and I actually paused for a couple of moments before continuing on with the rest of the practice session, because I was that out of breath. And so having the auto version available really is, when I got to Bahrain it was a lot easier. I wasn't changing so much, so maybe it's something about getting used to the RS through the practice programs, and then maybe implementing, taking the auto version option off in a future episode. But up to the line we are, and you can see how much we are trying to just about make it.
Good day today. Tell us about it from your perspective. It's been a
So here we
lot
are
of
with the
hard work,
interviews.
but here you are making your debut in Formula One. You must be thrilled.
And we are going to choose, this is just the beginning of the
So how are
journey,
you
it's just the
finding things in the
beginning.
team? Are you settling in?
The team are
What are
being
you
blah
expecting
blah
out
blah
of this
blah
season?
blah. I tried for
Are
the
you just
sportsman
aiming to
thing, but it
find your
didn't
feet in
work.
Formula One, or do you see something more?
And we got the
Great.
sportsmanship
Well,
on
that's
that one.
everything.
I plan to answer as truthfully as possibly and not just play for the sportsman, but and you'll see at the end that it doesn't always go the way that I want to. I'm always trying to impress the team with the interviews, but at the same time I want to reflect how I'm feeling after that race, in the multiple choice. But here we are, looking about. We got a 90s mouse by the looks of it. A bloke, he's just plugging away. Oh, he's oh no, he's got, I thought he was reaching for his coffee cup there. Maybe he's got a coffee addiction, I don't know. The clerk, I don't know, I think he's playing the video game. I think he's playing F1, I think he's playing F1 2017, you know. And then he's saying, oh yeah, this game. Yeah, this game. Yeah, and he's put it in the wall. Oh dear, by that, look at that face, he's put it in the wall, he's at the race. But anyway, a couple of more messages. The message screen is back, by the way. First time that's been in the game since F1 2014. And we used to have the message. They used to have the answer phone message for telling us our goals, but the emails are back from F1 2014. Anyway, enough about that. Time for qualifying.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly.
No matter how good a driver is at managing their throttle application to limit rear slip, they can't always overcome a car that's inherently bad at looking after its rear tyres. Here we have a lot of low-speed corner exits, which means a whole load of energy, heat and tyre wear.
So, into the only qualifying.
Okay, hope you brought something to read today.
Oh,
There's
for
an issue in the
God's
fuel
sake.
system. We don't think it's anything terminal, but it is going to take some time to investigate and repair.
So, there's a fuel system fault. And, well, let's just say, I'm going to give you a little spoiler. I have this again in the first practice session of Bahrain. So it might be something that we need to fix with the fuel system. I don't know. I don't know. I need to take a look longer. If you've had this issue where you get fuel system error, let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you've managed to rectify it so it stops happening, because ultimately it means we can't get at the start of the session, which is what I like to do. But short qualifying is what I'm going to do. I've always done that last year. I'm going to disagree. It's an unpopular opinion. I like the I liked the 12-minute qualifying session because I only like to do 2 runs in qualifying, and the 12 minutes allow me. This year it's been extended back to 15 minutes, which means there is quite a lot of hanging about for me. I think it's might be even 18 minutes. Not quite sure. I think it's 15 actually. Not 18, excuse me. But yes, definitely. It means there's going to be a lot more hanging about, but ultimately, you're not going to see that anyway because I only record the races on this channel, which those of you here. But anyway, this really was, as we are going to come on to our end of our first flying lap. I haven't really talked through the lap. Apologies for that, but that was the best one that we did. But I want to introduce you to the screen. If you follow me on Twitter, you know this already. But basically, myself there, and I believe it was Bottas, we had set faster times than the people ahead of us. But yeah, we in the rank, we were below them. So that is something that this game, well, that is an error. That's not a new thing. That is not a new thing that's happened. Back on F1 2011, the mobile game, it used to happen. The timings used to be irrelevant. It didn't matter what time you set in qualifying, just as long as you were in a fast car. So McLarens were fast, but they would set a time that was about 12 seconds slower than the car below. But anyway, I actually managed to improve my final sector, and we qualified P10 inside the top 10, which means going to start on those set of tyres as well. Out-qualified our teammate as well, be expected on 76 AI, and the resource points we are going to get for qualifying is 115, which means we are now 2,130. I'll get all the resource points from the race, and then we will make apply some upgrades at the end of the race. But yes, that is where the decision grid. I prefer the stacked system rather than this sort of gridded system from 2017, to be honest. But thank you, Emma. And that's bloke. So yes, a message from Jeff. Jeff, there's a picture of Jeff actually. That's the first time we've actually seen Jeff in any shape or form in this series. So yes, but we can't. Despite the fact he's in head scan icon form, we don't actually see him in physical form in the entire game. So yes. Anyway, you can see that the driver stuff. Anyway, it is time. Today's race, the Australian Grand Prix, round 1.
New drivers, new cars, and a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that hosts the first round of a 21 race championship, taking us from here in Melbourne, Australia, across the globe before we eventually reach the season finale at Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Kimi Raikkonen's perfect lap yesterday sees him start from pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Bottas, Max Verstappen and Magnussen, Alonso, Ricciardo, Sainz and the Professor, Hulkenberg, Hartley, Stoffel Van Dorn and Ocon, Grosjean, Perez, Charles Leclerc and Lance Stroll, Sirotkin and Pierre Gasly rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, so here we are in...
Better than we expected yesterday, so let's do the same again today.
Thank you, Jeff. I usually talk over you, but I'll have to adjust that now. Fuel limit's a little bit lower than we usually have, a lap and a half extra. So we'll see how that gets on. We might need to adjust that for future races if we're going to have less. So yes, we'll see. But 5 red lights and F1 2018 career mode is underway. And it's an absolutely dreadful start. Hartley is getting the jump on us, but we're going to do our bog standard dive bomb. And we take an avoiding action to not go in the back of everybody and actually move up into P7. Here's a replay. And we're on the outside of the Force India by the looks of it. We go down the inside of the Renault. A little bit of a corner cut, but nevertheless, it was no illegal overtakes there. And we're going to go up to turn 2, and we go past Daniel Ricciardo, and up ahead of us, of course, we have, at the same time as I was taking Ricciardo, we have Kevin Magnussen, who's trying to go past Max Verstappen, but Verstappen's going to keep it on the outside here, and Verstappen keeps the P5. So Ricciardo, poor start from him. Is he going to be continuing his F1 2017 form of getting stuck behind slower cars and not actually doing very well? Because he wasn't a very good teammate to me in the latter half of Season 2 of career mode on F1 2017. But let's wait and see what happens with Ricciardo, if he can actually be better. He's going to go to the outside, but we block him off, and he gets a little bit of a thing, but we block him off again, and coming up to lap 4, Just going to have a look down our inside, on the outside, excuse me, into this left-right. But Carlos Sainz actually gets ahead of it. This is what happened to him, and I think he got a bit bogged down as he was coming through that left-hander. So Carlos Sainz, he wants to go for a manoeuvre, and he actually goes past down with DRS, but we're going to re-overtake him down into turn 1, and there we move up. Okay, so I'm calling Hamilton, move on to lap 5, and there he is, left front puncher. And that's on the pit straight as well. Hamilton's race is just gone. He needs a safety car. Well, he's got a virtual one, but how long is that really going to last for? He's ghosted anyway, so...
Okay, slow down.
So, but anyway, virtual safety car didn't last very long. I imagine it was just to get Hamilton out of the way of the DRS straights. And there we go. Eventually Hamilton will probably make it back, but his race will be destroyed. But yes, meanwhile up front, it is Kimi Raikkonen who leads, closely followed by his teammate Sebastian Vettel. So Ferrari, being the fastest car on the game, is there. Behind us, behind Ricciardo, we have Carlos Sainz, who's heading up his teammate Hülkenberg, and the McLaren, I believe that is Alonso. Ricciardo once again has a look on lap 7. We go to the inside, up to turn 3. We're coming in. Okay, something wrong with Vettel, but we'll have to see if that materialises. I don't think it does, but a little bit of argy-bargy there between myself and Ricciardo. I'm sure whole of Australia. In lap 8, Carlos Sainz is now closing back up to Daniel Ricciardo. He's going to go around the outside into turn 1. Can he get the traction down the inside? Yes, he can, and he retakes I think that was P7 at the time. But we obviously were jumping that to lap 9, and we've coming in at the end of the lap to make our one and only stop. A little bit jumpy on the way in, but it's only to be expected, obviously, to be improved upon as we go on through the series to judge how much Raikkonen Mini before the lead. So let's see what sort of a stop this is. 2.8. So that can definitely be improved on, but we can negotiate for that in our contract now rather than getting perks for it. We're going to come out in P14 behind Sergio Perez, who started outside the top 10. Of course, Force India today announced they'll be racing under a new name, so there we go. But this is later on the same lap, and Lance Stroll takes advantage of me blocking Carlos Sainz out, and he actually overtakes Lance Stroll, which gives me a buffer. So jumping to lap 12, we're coming up to Sergio Perez. We're going to go down the inside in the third DRS zone, I should add. 3 DRS zones, but they haven't. One thing that this game needs to know is that obviously if there's going to be more DRS zones, are they going to be added or not? So that definitely needs to be an update there, but we'll have to wait and see. But for now, we continue on in P9. Eventually comes P6. Ricciardo eventually gets ahead of Sainz. Sainz getting held up pretty badly by Stroll. And really, we're starting. Ricciardo is catching against Magnussen, is about a couple of thousand light years ahead, along with Vettel, Raikkonen, and Verstappen and Hamilton. Not the Hamilton, Bottas are the top 5, and ourselves down in P6. Ricciardo P7, and then a long way behind now the Renaults, who are sort of dropped back on these soft tyres. I think that they're not going certainly well. But anyway, overhead, Magnussen is he's doing the 1 stop compared to Valtteri Bottas, who's doing the 2 stop, and Max Verstappen. They're doing Bottas is on the super softs, and he's going to go around the outside down to the inside of the penultimate corner, and he moves up into P3. Eventually, Verstappen also gets past Magnussen. But to change this up, because I want to be, rather than just getting it too easy, it was a little bit too easy to be able to defend from Ricciardo, so I decided to change things up, to come in on lap 20 and go onto a fresh set of ultra softs to see what we can do. 2.9 second stop there, so needs to be improved. We're going to drop outside the top 10.
Up to speed now. Let's get
There's
some
actually...
use of those tyres.
That is Fernando Alonso. He's pulled off to the side. Alonso's out the race. Well, you know why Alonso's leaving now. He doesn't want to be out. So, a little bit closer to his teammate Van Dorn. Van Dorn is the next target. And that Van Dorn overtakes Gasly. And now Gasly is on some very warm, soft tyres. He's gone on there a long time. We're going to go look to the outside, fade to the inside actually, and down the inside into the left-right chicane, and up into P10, points pay positions. It's not long before we catch up to Stoffel Van Dorn. Very nice DRS. Now the auto has hit rock bottom. There's nothing left in the tank for the RS, so that's good. I was, because in qualifying, as we watched Sebastian Vettel, he's dropped off by his teammate and he's going very slowly now. Very slowly indeed, and he's pulling off to the side. Sebastian Vettel is out the race. So Hamilton is going to slightly score no points thanks to his puncher, and now Vettel is out the race. So, well, that's interesting. So safety car is being pulled out. Kimi Raikkonen leads from Valtteri Bottas. And then Max Verstappen is up in P3. There's the Williams cars. Magnussen P4 and Ricciardo is now P5. He has come into... Sorry, Ricciardo is not P5. Ricciardo is P5. Hulkenberg P6, Sainz P7 and ourselves P8. So we're going to try take a look at Carlos Sainz. I wasn't very good at restarts on F2017, and it looks like it's a little bit better, but there is a lap car. It is our teammate Leclerc. He is just getting... I think he should be on the outside rather than being on the racing line. He's just slowing down and letting everybody pass, not really punched it, and then the Toro Rosso locks up and goes wide and Leclerc re-undertakes it. Unfortunate for him, he was doing a two-stop strategy today, but he can get out of the way. Oh! Max Verstappen's out as well! He just ploughs straight into the back of one of the Williams. And he's out the race, so Verstappen is out as well. We're down to 17 runners. We've had Alonso, as we're going to go down the inside here of Carlos Sainz. Sainz doesn't fight. He knows he can't really fight against us on the penultimate lap. Here's a replay. Easy move, a little bit of a dive bomb, but getting the move done. And Sainz very nicely gives us the space. He knows that he just wants to keep ahead of the McLaren behind us. Up at the front, meanwhile, Valtteri Bottas has caught up to Kimi Raikkonen. Of course, Bottas on that two-stop to Raikkonen's one-stop, and Bottas is going to go to the outside in the DRS stop. And he's going to go around the outside and take the lead of the Grand Prix on the penultimate lap. And we're going to go side by side with Hulkenberg, and Hulkenberg barges us out the way. So, yes, Hulkenberg not as nice as Sainz. We'll have to wait and see. Hulkenberg won't get a penalty for that. He's barging it, so it's not really sportsmanlike behaviour, but I can understand, being in a Renault, his teammates clearly faster than him, and yet he needs to improve, otherwise there's going to be problems with him. But yes, we're on the last lap now, just coming up to P6. We're going to see if we can get Hulkenberg into the last corner. We're a little bit too far in the DRS. DRS not enabled after the restart, by the way. But yes, going back to Verstappen, that's podium he's thrown away, which he might not get again considering the fact how fast Mercedes and Ferrari are this season. And also, that's him, Vettel and Hamilton scoring no points, so very interesting start to a career mode. But anyway, we're going to come across the line, and it could have been P4, but it's going to be P6. And I think that is around about where we would have probably finished anyway.
That was a fantastic drive.
Thank you, Jeff. P6, and I'll take that.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. So, Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Valtteri Bottas takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
I'll probably go for Pierre Gasly. The team did a good job with the strategy to put him in amongst the pack, but it's the driver's job to capitalise on those opportunities, and he did so with a lot of skill.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
So yes, very good result for us today at P6. Would have probably been P9 had that not been, but 6th place in the championship and 6th place in the constructors as well. Leclerc unlucky, I think, caught about the safety car. Hamilton P15 not really doing well, but Bottas is in charge for now, so good to see Raikkonen not
Amazing
winning.
performance out there. You must be really happy.
Thank
You're
you,
breaking
Claire.
all expectations. What's your secret?
Sportsmanship increased, yes,
Gained
that's
a lot
good.
of positions during the race, didn't you?
It was great. The car was sticking to the track, and the aero team noticed that, and they're happy about
race
that.
today, was it?
Not sure what happened out there, to be
You
honest.
scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
I'm going to say I'm not sure what happened, to be honest, and Sauber don't like that either.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Note to self, don't pick that answer again. So yes, here's how we're doing against Leclerc. We'll win it, lead the rivalry. 6-3. We'll pick an opponent, another opponent to be against at the end of the next episode. Here's the resource points. We're going to go and spend them in just a couple of moments. Nevertheless, we decrease our rep with Sauber despite finishing P6. Yeah. And our sportsmanship sort of shows. So here we are.
You did really well. I don't think we can have any complaints with that performance.
We've received invitations to new historic events. You'll be able to choose whether or not to participate before the end of this weekend.
Well, there we go. They've removed that character with the classic cars. I'll be talking about that in a video sometime next week about how I think the 2019 should work to make the best of both 2017 and 2018 to make it the best game so far. That to come shortly, but there we go. Our status is already ruined. Our contract value is not very good, but then we're not really getting any money anyway. Now let's view the R and D tree. So we're going to make, obviously the powertrain is the strongest part of the car. Obviously we're going to do the general wear one. That's going to come in Bahrain next week. The general wear only lasts a week. Our powertrains are sit fast, so it's not really an issue, to be honest. Ultimately, that fuel problem I'd like to sort out. But yes. So one thing we're going to do is upgrade the aero wheel, bottom team, and we've got two major upgrades to do first. And because we noticed that because we did our, because we increased the morale of the aero department, they've given us a reduction in the points, and that's still coming by Azerbaijan, but still, and there's a less chance in that part failing. There's a rear floor underway which is going to cost 1,000 resource points as well to do. So there we go. Those are the bits that we're going to put on the car. That'll be coming over the next couple of rounds, the upgrade, rounds episodes 2, 3 and 4. We'll look at the next race, we'll look at some more. If we get enough resource points, we might look at some more upgrades for wear as well, because wear is going to be a big factor with only 2 or 3. Some parts only having 2 parts, some parts only having 3, so it's going to be a bit worry. So yes, that is it for today's episode of F1 2018 Career Mode. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new to see more F1 2018 Career Mode. But until the next time, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.